Ladies and gentlemen, it is a late night, locally hated fight night. And I'm not talking about UFC, I'm talking about ESEA Season 56 Open 9-10, and we're in the West Division, surprisingly. And as I mentioned, a little bit of a last-minute, late-night matchup between locally hated and OrcaDaddies, with some interesting players on the lineup for OrcaDaddies. We see Ketamine, Klondike, STF, Haz, and Diminish. And on the side of locally hated, you have the five that you are already used to seeing: Alula, Weeza, Taggy, Saber, and Ethex. And we had a little bit of a interesting CCT qualifier, able to make it up to round 3, where we lost to Team Mouse. So unfortunately, you will not be seeing us in this season of CCT. But nonetheless, we were trying to get into the VRS bracket, or into the VRS leaderboard, with a good start to the ESEA season. And we didn't necessarily find that in the first 2 weeks of ESEA Open, but we're looking to change that up right here, and the map for tonight is going to be Nuke, so a lot of team play going to be required, and I'm not sure if OrcaDaddies will have it, but locally hated at the same time have had a little bit of some interesting back and forth behind the scenes, so we'll see how things do pan out. And by interesting back and forth, I don't mean anything negative, just more so a little bit of role changes, maybe, from what I've heard. I might be saying maybe, but I don't actually know. Fast ramp aggression from the side of, I almost said Ocean Daddies. I'm thinking of my old teammate Ocean Man. OrcaDaddies. It's OrcaDaddies. They've put a lot of initial aggression towards ramp to try and force a rotation from the side of locally hated, and it's really done its job. He was going to hit the floor early on from a great Glock shot. STF finds his as well. And it's a 3v5. A little bit of a change of pace from the side of OrcaDaddies, grants them free access. And look at this. Ketamine has completely dodged the timing. Flashbang in the hands of Ethex, and Ketamine activates. Taggy's forced to go in toward the site and can't connect the shot, so it's an early lead for the OrcaDaddies. They find the pistol round. And I like the little bit of redirection OrcaDaddies were trying to pull off, and successfully pulled off. Ramp progression, I think, forced 2 players from locally hated to drop, and I also think that creates a little bit of an issue, because locally hated play for a triple ramp setup, and it creates a little bit of a predicament. If they find that early contact up towards ramp, it convinces them to kind of burrow in, and as soon as the retreat happens, it kind of weakens that A defense. So upgraded buy for the side of OrcaDaddies, 2 rifles in hand, MAC-10s and MP7. But only 2 upgraded pistols for the side of locally hated. What's up, Vinyl? A little bit of a patient round from OrcaDaddies. I think anticipating some sort of lobby crunch, maybe, or some sort of outside play from the side of locally hated. But as time expires, they're not going to find any information across the map. Locally hated have a very interesting ramp setup, too. You can see 2 players just kind of posted, waiting for contact from Weeza, and maybe even a pop flash in towards Trophy. But the real prize for the OrcaDaddies is going to be towards this A site. Squeezing towards Trophy, towards Minis deployed, and Ethex finds his first kill on towards Diminish, but nothing else comes from it. And that's the A site taken for OrcaDaddies. Bomb is going to be punched in. Taggy is immediately smoked out. Site is secure. Flashbang will move through heavens. That secures an entrance, but Haz found Taggy and found Saber as well. So it's all down to Alula and Weeza. They found 1 kill in this pistol round, or the second round pistol buy, I should say. But as Alula hits the floor, it leaves Weeza with an undoable task, and he's kind of forced to try and collect some, maybe, economic damage at the best. It is planted on the corner, so a little bit of a difficult time or if he's gonna try and stick it, but Weeza's just hanging around, playing for information, drops into the site, going to run for this bomb, but gives it a tap, waiting for anyone to come back, and STF does. So STF loses his AK-47, and that's one of the more hefty investments for the side of OrcaDaddies. But the round win will kind of negate that. Still has $5,800 in the bank account, has yet to buy, and is available to drop an AK-47 if needed, but it won't be, because STF is just going to buy it right back up. And And I was talking about how some interesting players on the side of OrcaDaddies. Ketamine currently sitting at 2-0 is 70 matches played, 2100 elo. So a maybe a diamond in the rough. STF able to come out on top of the early exchange towards outside, but not without paying a price. Is dropped towards 1 HP, and Efex has burrowed in towards Hut with the MP7. You can see an aggressive reposition from the side of OrcaDaddies as they try to avoid this lowered buy from the side of locally hated, but even then, see two members towards ramp. Immediate rotation out, though, and that buys enough of a release for ramp to be opened up, and as Saber rounds this corner, he can be caught off guard. STF still tucked close to the corner, has a perfect activation, and at the right moment, Taggy falls as well, and that's 2 kills in the belt for STF. And Efex is left in the 1v3. Has the MP7 in hand. We've seen a lot of promise from it in recent times. And I am convinced we're going to see a little bit of an MP7 meta start to come to fruition when teams don't want to buy the FAMAS, don't want to buy too low around the MP9. I think we'll start to see teams invest more heavily into this submachine gun. Feels like Efex is kind of committing towards playing for exits, and that feels like the right play, but as he approaches double, doors will be open for Diminish to make his entrance, and Efex separates his head from his shoulders. MP7, really, I don't even know how he got that kill. That's insane. Maybe didn't have armor, but regardless, third round on the menu for OrcaDaddies. With a strong start, they have a lot of economy built up. Klondike and Ketamine, both going to be the main proponents to that. So even if OrcaDaddies do continue to lose members in these round wins, they'll still be able to buy right back up. And locally hated are on a very interesting buy. Efex has that rifle saved over. MP9's in the hands of Weeza and Alula, and I almost want to call this a little bit of a, what we used to call a Furia buy. MP9's across the menu. Opper, being Saber, of course, is going to save all of the Guala. Weeza hits the floor early. Ketamine has a mean read towards lobby. Just trying to wait out any of this aggression. Efex drop towards Secret. More utility outside is going to be deployed. The big garage smoke kind of leaves me to believe that the target for OrcaDaddies is going to be Mini, and second smoke kind of confirms that. Haz is still cautious about this player in Secret. As the nade finds its mark, Efex goes prodding up. He spots Haz's head, but Haz didn't spot him. So there's a proper opportunity for activation, and as quick as it was there, it's moving away. Alula is the next point of contact towards Hut, but is able to dodge the AK spray. There's 3 members of locally hated gearing up for the swing, but Daddy's always going to take it right to them. Alula opens it up, finds the first, Taggy finds the second, but it's all wraps. It's a meat grinder from OrcaDaddies as they find their 4th round in a row. Round number 5, we will see a full buy all the way around from locally hated as well. AWP in the hands of Saber. I mentioned it earlier. But Weeza's still sitting on a donut, and there's been a missmoke in the spawn of OrcaDaddies, so a little bit of a rough start to the round. It won't necessarily matter, though, because I feel like OrcaDaddies have plenty of utility to go around. And even in these rounds that they're pulling off, they're not having to expend all of their smoke. So one smoke, not the biggest of deals, but the delayed outside smokes might actually catch locally hated off guard and might force them into a rotation. Side smokes being deployed. I'm assuming some sort of heaven smoke, maybe? Or just glass being broken to bait some sort of rotation. You can see Weeza already on the fence about going down the ladder and down the vents. There's been no cross just yet. Okay. Well, there's the op gone. Defensive smoke is dropped for I don't even know what to say. Defensive drop or smoke is dropped for Weeza. He now has to hold off the entire force of OrcaDaddies. And it's immediate retreat. Smoke break, no contact, and a backup from the rest of the OrcaDaddies. Haz is going to be waiting here to catch any rebounding aggression, but you can also see there's an activation in towards Squeaky waiting to happen. Klondike has found his way out of the door, waiting for that backside swing, but Uga is able to activate from fake vent, finds one, and it's just enough time. Weeza's able to collect his own kill, but now has to fend off Klondike, and it's not enough. Taggy's in the 1v1, but as he goes flying up the vent, Klondike finds his way through the mini smoke, and Taggy takes him out. It's the donut into the breadstick for Locally Hated, and not without some chaos, which I feel like is expected at this point, but what a shot from Ketamine up towards Heaven onto Saber. I mean, like I said, not much to be said there. Check the PC. What the fuck was that? Yeah, pretty much. Aggressive A play for the side of OrcaDaddies. They're looking to press the agenda. Weeza finds STF, but the smoke is dropped. Has been taken as well. Haz finds the beautiful twist drop down mini. Looks for the third kill, but Ethex shuts it down. It's a little bit of a pump of the brakes, though, for OrcaDaddies. As you can see, the two remaining players on the upper part of the map still trying to reposition out towards this A bomb site, or what am I talking about? Towards the B bomb site and towards ramp. You can also see Klondike has quite a bit of space in towards Secret as well from the vent drop, but as Saber barely tucks away, he spots the head of Diminish. Ketamine finds the trade, and that trade was immediate. Holy. Taggy still remains towards Clock. The cap of the bomb should, but it's actually going to be a full stick, so Ketamine eats the dust, and Klondike is up to 1v1 towards sight, and Taggy comes out on top. It's Locally Hated finding 2 rounds, and Ketamine is on fire with some of these reactions, but it's the teamwork of Locally Hated that prevails. It feels like Taggy had a little bit of inclination and has some great support. Saber just narrowly dodging the timing of the ramp push from the OrcaDaddies, but as we mentioned on the Twitter, Locally Hated have gone fishing once before, so we are familiar with the water. 2 AK-47s recovered. Nade does not actually break Squeaky, surprisingly. But Haz is being left to roam with the Deagle. Ula drops down towards Secret. Weeza eats a couple Deagle shots and is dropped down towards 47 HP, but there's a flashbang here to support. Ethex pops out and finds Klondike. Ula finds STF through Secret as well, and it's just a long-range exchange from both of these teams, and Ethex has found his 2. Haz is making quick work of these Locally Hated players outside, and has found 2 kills of his own, but you can already see a little bit of a rotation from Taggy to try and secure some of these rifles, but he's a little bit late. So M4 is in the hands of Haz, and Taggy just narrowly missed the timing. So free activation out towards Mini. Ethex has to be keen to this, but is made. Saber just narrowly saved by the fact that Haz ran out of bullets, and Taggy's on the rotation out towards Zywoo. Ethex should be hearing the second player, and Diminish should be hitting the floor soon. Taggy finds Haz, and Saber's going to be the one to collect Diminish. It's 3 rounds on the board for Locally Hated. They're starting to put the things together that they need, and realistically, it felt like a little bit of coordination towards the upper side of the map. Tech timeout underway. I'm assuming Diminish is going to be the one facing issues, as no buy has come through yet. But as I say it, pause is immediately removed. Buy comes in from Diminish, and round number 8 is underway. A crucial round for the side of Locally Hated, as this is where they have an opportunity to take the lead and really snatch up some breathing room, I'd say, going into their T side, because the T side, although you have a little bit more freedom in terms of how you want to control these rounds, it feels like Locally Hated are definitely CT-sided players. Or at least some even the little bit of nuke I remember, the little bit of nuke I remember from prior locally hated iterations. I don't know why I say a little bit. I remember all of it, but I remember us being ones to not have a great first half. And Sabres posted all the way in towards lobby, but this player took towards squeaky door, and this becomes a little bit of a brand risk if Klondike goes undetected. Lula's going to take contact towards Has. Can of war that we hated need to be ready for, and Alula finds 2 great kills. Taggy activates onto the Squeaky Lurk, and so that's all of the OrcaDaddies' upper presence eliminated. Weezus goes swinging out of mini, finds his own, but STF's left in the 1v4, and Loki Hated cannot give up these isolated duels. Ethex is playing Ring Around the Rosie outside mini, but it just draws a swing for Taggy to clean up, and it's 4-all as we head into round 9. Money not in favor of the OrcaDaddies either, which will be interesting. You can see Desert Eagles being brought out from Has. STF, Klondike, Ketamine, and actually the rest of the squad. It's going to be a full upgraded pistol buy for the side of OrcaDaddies. I thought I saw a little bit of utility on the belts, but I believe immediately sold back, and not a big boom just yet. Now, Has actually goes running through the fire and flames, and Saber's going to be the one to take the shot first, and he actually misses his mark. So as Lisa's prepping for this first player back red, Has eats a little bit of a shot through the red box, drop down to 56, 45 after the nade, and Saber finally finds the kill. Beautiful shot from STF. Alula's right there to rebound it. Speaking of rebound, a nade right towards back credit. It doesn't find its mark as no one's home, as Diminish and Ketamine trying to test the limits out towards ramp once more. He's going to be the one to receive it, and he separates both heads from both shoulders. It's all on Klondike 1v4, and with a Tech 9, it is going to be no match for the AK-47s. It's a 5th round on the board for locally hated, as round number 10 is on the horizon. Taggy leading the way for the side of locally hated, 10-4. However, on the side of OrcaDaddies, it feels like more players have been kind of firing on all cylinders. We've seen Ketamine hit some crazy shots. Taz and SCF, it feels like, have a general idea of where locally hated are trying to be at all times. And the relative game strategy from the side of OrcaDaddies, whether it's attention-driven splits or manipulation of rotation, has felt like it's been at least on the right path. Now, in terms of execution, past round 4 hasn't necessarily been all that there. Like pops a flashbang through the squeaky smoke just to prompt a little bit of a reaction, but Taggy, after dropping the HE, force under pressure. Has goes down first, but the double swing and the triple swing actually is going to be what's on the menu next. Saber is going to try and repeat, but I don't know how I felt about that, especially going into 4 members. And that is all of ramp control C's for OrcaDaddies. Klondike trying to brush his way in towards this B site. Taggy has support from Weeza, so this is a little bit more doable, but as Taggy goes creeping around, he can't connect the shots. And I'm not sure if Taggy was spotted crossing towards dark. You can even see the OrcaDaddies not wanting to play a dangerous game. Smoking towards Squeaky is going to not prevent Ketamine whatsoever from walking through. The A side is the prize for the OrcaDaddies. It's all going to be Ethex. He has to go massive, and he finds the first kill on towards Diminish. His position is revealed. He only has 6 HP, but Ketamine is here to catch the reswing. It's a 3v3, 30 seconds left, and the numbers to the bomb are being punched in. There's a rotation from Taggy being prepped all the way through the vents, but I don't think it will be possible as STF is watching it like a hawk. It's going to be off the back of aggression from Bobby, and as Taggy goes flying up, he catches STF asleep at the wheel. The activation from Malula happens, and Klondike's left in the 1v1. He's wrapping around towards front sight, but both players low HP. Malula connects the shots. He drops down without taking a lick of damage and is able to defuse this bomb. It's going to be 6 rounds for locally hated, and at a minimum a tie going into the second half, but definitely the right start you want on your CT side. And Taggy has been warming up into this one, I feel like. We're hitting those prime FPL hours as we cross 11:04 p.m. Central Time here in Houston, Texas. And speaking of crossing, Saber is trying to prevent anyone from crossing with a freaky angle on towards top credit. If Klondike goes a little bit further right, he might be able to catch Saber off guard, but Saber knows what's best. Immediately opts from the aggressive position. His attention is drawn towards top mini, which creates a question. Where are OrcaDaddies going to go next? Weasel with his soul activation is able to go 1-for-1 with Lula, but Saber gives up his life, and a beautiful kill from STF grants them the hefty man advantage. Kaz is down to 47 HP, and you can see a double swing being prepped out towards mini, but a little bit of an overcommitment from Efex, and he is able to escape with his life. Reaggression out towards outside, actually, for OrcaDaddies. Weasel with a great sound. Waiting for OrcaDaddies to walk in the crosshair, but can't connect the shots. STF dropped to 16 HP, has 47, and Efex is left on his lonesome in the 1v2 after he finds his second in the round. 35 seconds left on the clock. Drop towards vents, but Efex is keen to the squeaky angle. He's going to go rotating all the way towards ramp, and that's going to allow Haz to make his drop towards vents, but Klondike is a little bit isolated for the time being. A smoke on towards site allows him to reposition towards the boxes. But Klondike says, I'm holding my post. People from Klondike exposes the shoulder. Efex has to be keen to this radio room angle, but the door is open, and the footstep has been heard from Efex, so he knows where both players are. He opens the double doors and closes them. It's door open, door stuck, and Efex just kind of providing the attention. He's gotten onto the bomb. No way! The stick is coming through! He's calling the bluff, but oh my god, the clock's around, and he finds it! Klondike's too late to it. Locally hated pull off the ninja defuse, and Efex, I know it, it's yelling. I mean, you know what they say. You know what they say. Pros do not fake, and putting it on display there. Saber has the AWP back in hand. It's going to be a full buy from the side of OrcaDaddies. 3,400 extra dollars in the hands of Klondike. Maybe an op to be had on one of these players, but Haz doesn't actually go for the trade. It's a little bit detrimental, but it does come in at the end of the gunfight, so 3-on-3 is going to be the result, and a 1-for-1 exchange outside. Taggy actually finds his second, and Ketamine's going to walk right into the barrel of Efex. It's 8-4 as we head into half number 2 of Nuke, and locally hated in the driver's seat, have the momentum swinging in their favor, just have to continue it on this T-side pistol. But as I talked about, locally hated in prior iterations have been known to throw first halves, and we haven't gotten to see too much from this new iteration of the roster, at least in recent memory, with a little bit of role swaps. But we are here. A little bit of deliberation from Saber in spawn on what he wants to buy. Last finally being broken towards upper, and a 4-man setup towards the A side from the side of OrcaDaddies. Molotov towards top hut, no initial aggression from the side of locally hated. As all the utilities delayed, flashbangs will finally ring out. Ketamine goes swinging out. He finds one, but Efex has found 2 out towards site. Weeza found his own, and as Ketamine goes running through the smoke, he finds Weeza as well. It's a 2v3. Smoke is being prepped. Klondike goes swinging in, but he can't find anything whatsoever. Efex shuts it down. It's all onto Ketamine, the man, the myth, the legend, and maybe even sometimes the drug. Swinging in towards Squeaky, knows exactly where Taggy is, finds the head, and now is looking to isolate the next duel, but Alula swings just in the nick of time and finds the kill. It's 9 rounds for locally hated as we head into round number 14. I won't lie, chat. When I'm casting, I use my Zin can as like a fidget spinner, and and I accidentally opened my Zin can while I was spinning it somehow. And all of my Zins came flying out, so I am now covered in Zins. But the game doesn't stop. Etex has the MP7, is looking for this outside aggression, and immediately shut down. Ada Dank from Alula. Saber and Weezer just trying to make the rifles sing their beautiful song, andAz finds his own deal. Can't find a second, and Weezer's on fire. Kills his name against the upgraded pistols, and it's relatively easy work. Not too hefty of an investment either from Etex, especially considering he had the MP7. And it's double digits for locally hated. Pick them Zins up. Alright. Stand by. Alright. Zins have been recovered. They have been put back into the container. And Etex has put the MP7 back into his hands. Early utility out towards the safe side. Draws a rotation from Klondike, but I'm not sure if it's the rotation he wants to pull. He actually finds the bomb, and that's Saber going down. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no! Okay. Oh, my lord. I got a little bit scared. MP7 shots don't necessarily connect all the time, but Etex is able to wrangle it just at the right moment. Alula on this lurk just has his back peppered at. But rotation's underway from OrcaDaddies. Bomb timer is underway. And the rotation towards vents has happened. Single door is open. And single door is completely smoked off. All three members of OrcaDaddies have made their way down the vents. The utility is being prepped. As that nade finds its mark, Ketamine finds the kill on towards Weeza. Taggy's good for the trade, but it's a 2v3. And OrcaDaddies have made an entrance in towards site. Taggy thinks he's the main point of contention, but really, OrcaDaddies don't want anything to do with them, and Taggy cleans it all up. It's 11 rounds for locally hated. And a beautiful change of pace since round number 4. And realistically, it just kind of felt like a lack of winning that pistol round that led to those 4-1 rounds for the OrcaDaddies, because ever since locally hated have been able to get rifles and win some of these crucial turning rounds, whether it's eco rounds or even some of these pistol rounds, they have been able to execute their game plan relatively flawlessly. Yeah, he's on a very rough buy, 2 MP7s, one of which just got ripped out of the hands of Haz, and the second one is out of Diminish's hands. So, what I was gonna say is immediately voided. Free smoke in towards Mini will deny STF, I believe that is, any entrance in toward Ketamine, actually. Denies Ketamine any entrance in towards this A-bomb site, but he has teammates on the approach. As soon as the smoke expires, it feels like there's going to be some sort of pop, or maybe even Klondike going up towards Heaven to pop a flash, but actually no, Klondike is able to reconvene with the rest of his team, maybe even pep a flash for the exits. And he pops some shots. STF is going late. Saber's gonna make contact and separates Ketamine's head from his shoulder. Saber gonna put the finishing touches on map in series point for locally hated. And the money's gonna be in favor of OrcaDaddies, so there's one final stand they'll be able to make. But it's all gotta be uphill from here. 8 rounds in a row. And I'm not going to count them out, because we have seen crazier on the Blakert_CS channel. I also want to thank you for tuning in tonight. It's round number 17 in the match, but we are about to cross 11:15 p.m. Central Time, and it's a lot later of a match than I'm used to, but as I mentioned, we appreciate you turning out. See an immediate change of pace from the side of locally hated as well. Prepping for more aggression from the side of OrcaDaddies, but it almost feels like there's a little bit of a default going on here, and maybe even a late A-pop in the minds of locally hated. And what leads me to believe that is kind of how Etex is prepping for this hut contact, but still trying to dish out his utility to the rest of the supporting members. Flashbang in towards ramp does actually prep the utility out towards the safe side, but has been has top button free of charge, but he does end up getting cleared. STF fires a bullet into his teammate's back. Ketamine has the AWP, and all he can shoot is one bullet, and there's two members on his screen. Lugo shuts it down. STF and Klondike now in a 2v2, and a beautiful lurk smoke from STF forces the rotation from OrcaDaddies, and it is all heard from the side of locally hated. I can't, yeah, I can't speak at the end of this game. Locally hated. Shout out the Hat Man. If you know, you know. Klondike trying to make an entrance towards Heaven and at least draw the attention for STF to make an entrance in towards Mini, but it won't matter. Taggy separates the head from his shoulders as time ticks down. STF is left in the 1v3, but Taggy shuts it all down. It is a 13-4 victory for Locally Hated, their first in ESEA Season 56, and my lights actually turned off because it's getting late. I have the fancy auto turning off lights, but nonetheless, congratulations to Locally Hated for finding their first victory in ESEA season, turning the donut into the breadstick. As always, my name is Blakert_CS. Actually, you know what? I'm going to break the news. We are here live on the Blakert CS channel going to announce that Locally Hated is going to LAN. We will be seeing you at Frag York. So, make sure to tune into that one. And if you're going to be attending, make sure to come say hi to all of us Locally Hated members, including myself. Exploding should be there. We'll also have the roster, of course, so it's going to be a fun one. But like I mentioned, my name is Blakert_CS. We have had Exploding to help guide us through the action. And Locally Hated took the dub, so I can't really complain tonight, and we hope you had a great one. So as it hits 11:15 p.m. here in Houston, Texas, we are signing off and hope you have a great night.